Hello ladies and gentlemen, CaptainShack here, and welcome to my desktop. Yeah, it's not a game, but it is Space Engineers. It's what I'm covering right now. I've been kind of trolling around on the forums for the Space Engineers website, the main community forums, and I've been really impressed. I want to talk to you guys about modding, about the possibilities of modding in Space Engineers. Now, the modding community for Space Engineers is just kind of starting to take off. Modelers have already gotten to work on making some really cool things, and right now they don't have all the API stuff on how exactly making these items actually do something in the game works, but it doesn't stop them from importing new models into the game and getting ready for when that information is released, so they can, make new items that actually do stuff. So let's go ahead and dive into this. This is some of the cool stuff that I found so far that I wanted to show you guys, so you can kind of get your imaginations rolling on what it's going to be like in Space Engineers once the modding community really just explodes. Excuse me, my throat's a little off today. So first thing, real easy, simple thing. It is a stairway. Just a simple stairway going upstairs there for more decorative things. You got a lot of decorative stuff. Let's see here. I think there was one more thing on this page. But there's stuff like decorative stuff like that. You've got hydroponics bays people are coming up with. I mean, anything you can think of, you could probably model and put into the game. So there's one actually rendered in-game, a hydroponics bay. This was done by Ripptide. Some really impressive modelers are getting into this. Ripptide also did some really badass stuff. He did a holographic table. Let me zoom down here. There's another picture of the holographic table that I really like, and I would love to see it have some functionality. So, all right, there's a computer desk for your space office or whatever. You can just imagine what that could do. I mean, that could control doorways all over the ship. It could, who knows, maybe that's the gun control panel where you sit down and you can actually manually control your guns. I mean, that could be a thing. As to the holographic table, here's another picture of it, this time showing an asteroid. Now imagine if your ship had some type of scanners attached to it, and if you got close enough, or maybe if you shot a torpedo into the asteroid, it would scan the entire asteroid and give you like a 3D representation of it on your holographic table. Now I don't know how much of that is possible, but it would be really cool. At the very least, the table is cool looking. It'll make your ship look badass. And I'm all for having more decorations and more tools to create more badass looking ships with more detail to them. I believe he actually made one more thing. This is still Ripptide, of course. Yes, the CNC, the command and control section of your ship. I always thought, I really don't like how the bridge work currently in Space Engineers. I wanted more cockpits. And if I was on the bridge, I wanted to use the bridge to take command of my ship. I would rather have it Battlestar Galactica kind of CNC, and it's got the panels on top with the flat screens and the information on them. Maybe those could even render real information. I don't know how that would work, but the table looks badass. I mean, that is cool. Here's an example of kind of how it works. You can attach it, and here's a couple different versions. You can attach it to a roof block, and it comes down. So, pretty neat. He's also got walls. Oh, this is the guy that did the walls. So these are custom walls to decorate the inside of your ship. I'll try to zoom in on this so you guys can see it a little bit closer. These can be painted with a control panel there and some new stairs. There they are, all painted up and looking sexy. So giving the interiors of ships just something more. I'm really digging the new doors too that this guy's modeled. Very nice. This one's got kind of a, it reminds me of StarCraft for some reason. I'm not really sure why. All right, next up, I wanted to show something that people have seen before. This is the skybox replacement tool. Fairly simple. It changes that asteroid skybox that we've all seen about a million billion times and changes it to something a little more interesting, like say planet Earth, or you're in orbit of Mars. So if you're interested in changing that, I'll actually put a link to this in the description below so you can download it and change up your skybox and just mix up how your game looks. All right, speaking of skyboxes, Red Phoenix has actually made some custom skyboxes, some that he's working on. Here's some examples. So if you want a little more color in your Space Engineers world, here are some examples of that. You can use that tool that I just showed to actually install these. Now, I've actually not done it, so I don't know how it'll affect multiplayer. I haven't messed with it at all because they're constantly patching Space Engineers, so I'm kind of worried that I'll mess up my multiplayer games if I mod it. But if you're not worried about that, you could go ahead and give this a try. Yeah, he even shows some screenshots of the tool itself. So next one, and I really dig this. If I was going to change anything, it'd be this one. This one is new thrusters. He's gone in and he's replaced the thrusters that were in the game. There's a great example right there with these more detailed models where it actually kind of looks like a rocket's engine. So that's pretty good. Here's an example of like, here's the old one and here's the new ones. Now, he's mentioned that he wants to make these a separate thruster in conjunction with the ones that are already in the game. I'm not sure if he's done that. I don't believe he's done that yet, but it'd have different stats. Maybe it'd have better acceleration because it's lighter. It's not just this solid block. Who knows? It's all, of course, up to the mod author, but some pretty cool stuff here. Here's some more examples of the thrusters in action. I'm really digging this. And then the big ones, he's added a lot of detail to it. Not sure how I feel about that. I think less is more in this case, and this is a bit too much with all these yellow tubes sticking out. But I'm sure somebody will find that really, really cool, really interesting. They also look really simplistic. So, but maybe he's working on it. This could be just early copies. I can see where he took out his model idea from. Very cool. All right, so next one I wanted to show was more decorative stuff. And maybe even storage for gear and equipment. These are storage containers, like something out of Aliens. These space storage containers for all your like Marines, if you somehow had a bunch of Marines on your ship, where they would go to get their gear and equipment. Crew lockers, that's what they are. Very detailed, very nice, I like it. This mod author also, let me flip a couple of pages in. I'm always asking for new cockpits when I do videos. I just wish there were more, and I really like this one. Multiple monitors, it's got the rounded top holding the monitors up. I'm really digging this cockpit. So, and this was by, who did this one? This was all by Dominichello, so very cool. Probably slaughtering that name. He also did some new floor plating and some rails, so you can make these kind of platforms. I'm just so excited about the future for modding and space engineers. Nice big long stairs, which, you know, when you think about it, makes sense. I really do like that idea. Just big stairs so you can get up to the top of a tower or something when you're spacewalking around, or if you've got gravity on your space station. Good for big indoor areas, because think about it. I mean, I love the stairs idea, because if you've ever made a docking bay for a larger ship, and if you're like me, I like to design my ports on the top of the ship, and the landing gear kind of lower to the bottom, so it's kind of hard to get to them. Yeah, there's a better example of the stairs. So, and I believe he did one other thing on here that I wanted to show. Let me flip through a bit. No, those are still the, oh yeah, he did the forced field doors. Pretty much exactly as it sounds. Let me scroll down. I know there's a better picture of it, but it kind of Star Wars-esque. You get the force field there holding the air in, but the ships can still pass through it. There you go. There's a better example of it. So you're able to go in and out with your ship without actually shutting the thing down. Pretty cool. There's one with a little walking bay that you can fly through or you can walk through. Different designs that he's come up with. And there's the different block types, so you can really customize the hell out of it. Look at that big door. That is awesome. I love this one. The walkway for people, and then you've got the big area for your shuttle. So, pretty damn cool. Now, these are in the game. I guess they work. I'm not sure if you can install this one. I think this might have been the one that you can install now, because, you know, stairs and those doorways probably work. There's an animated version of it actually working. Turning on, and like, yeah, coming from the corner. Pretty cool. I'll put a link for all of these mods down in the description. I'll just make sure they're all there so you guys can check them out and you can watch their progress. Let's see here. The catwalk and the centered window are released so far that you can download and play with. So the last two, pretty badass. Darth Biomech. Some more plants growing in your ship, but this one gets me really excited. Giant cargo bay doors. It's simple. It's a really simple concept, but something that I've been wanting to see put into the game. We have normal doors. Why don't we have these big steel-plated doors you always see in the sci-fi movies? And there's a model of how it's actually like put together, how it works. So very badass. Last but not least, this is, if you're not going to click on any links, click on this one. This is, the Paladin does this. And what is his real quick? Let me scroll down. I'll go back through these pictures in a second. Paladin Industries, bringing the sky to you. He does every one of his posts in character, and they're incredibly entertaining and hilarious. Just to give you a quick example, welcome to the gallery of Paladin Industries. Here at Paladin, we strive to make the best ship systems and subsystems for your resources. At this time, we have 3 systems to show you, mostly dealing with what we here at Paladin like to call preemptive defense. Oh sure, you can call it weapons and blowing others up, but what's the fun in that? All weapons are functional, but what you see are the parts before their system code is installed. These codes will be shipped soon with the blueprints. In other words, the game doesn't have the API stuff yet that people understand how to use, and they can't actually make them work yet, but the models are ready to go as soon as that stuff drops. Here is our new Bumblebee Strike Craft. Look at these. This is a magnetic rail kinetic projection system. It's a railgun, a mini one for small fighters. Hey, look how cool that looks. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4. He's even got the cargo containers so you can reload them. That just looks mean, you know? Instead of the Gatling cannon, you've got these rail guns. All right, maybe that's not your speed. Missile launcher tubes, quad missile launcher tubes for cruiser-sized ships. 2 new missile systems. The first, known as the Heavy Anti-Ship Missile Swarm Launcher, also known as the HASMSL, HASMSL. The Stacco, pretty badass. I love that quad. Quad-loaded 4-barreled missile launchers. I mean, that's just broadside mean right there. Here's the big torpedo launcher for anti-capital ship warfare that he's already modeled and ready to go. I mean, he's incredibly talented, and this stuff just looks amazing. And this isn't you haven't seen anything yet. Wait till I get to the better stuff. I mean, and these posts are hilarious. So I recommend you read them. There's one I want to read you guys that's really funny. Installation, let's get to, yes, here we go. The Kinetic Assault Rail Launcher. The Firebrand Rail Cannon. And look at it on the bottom there, and there's one there. Imagine designing a ship around that sucker. I mean, this gets me excited for capital ship combat. Not just for what they come up with, the game developers, but the mod authors. Look at that cannon. Oh, I want to siege a space station with that cannon. Or that cannon loaded up on a swivel, right? That you can actually turn and fire defending a space station. Like stuff like that. Game types will be able to come up with weapons like that. All right, let's scroll down here. Here's people giving ideas and different videos that he can watch. What are those things? Here at Paladin Industries, we just don't make things that go boom. We also make multi-purpose and civilian modules. Best show off 3 of our new multi-purpose. Can be civilian, but has military application. I give you our flagship, actually named the Paladin, after a great company, and because I, the Paladin, fly it. If you look closely, you can see a few blocks that are not standard issue in Space Engineers. A few glowing blocks may catch your eye. All right, I'm assuming it's these things. What do they do? This is our new transportation system. We call it a shift drive. It consists of 2 parts. The projector receiver is put in front and back of your ship. These project high-density neutrons at the front and collect them at the back, creating a football-shaped bubble that compresses time in front of the ship and expands it behind it, creating a subspace tidal wave. In other words, it's their version of a warp drive. So, you can see new models there. Very cool, very cool. Let's go ahead and get into what I want to show you guys, which is this monstrous weapon of death. Look at that thing. It's a railgun. It's huge. And now I'm going to read you this. Just make sure you can see it while I read it. To start us off, here is our new Reckoning Rail Cannon. This is a miniature, half-size prototype for experiments on the concept. Yes, the actual one is twice as big as this. Here at Paladin Industries, we believe that you can never have too much oh shit coming through the comms. This emphasizes the point. Your enemies will turn and flee in the sight of this behemoth of a weapon. So you adjust your heading 15 degrees or so and fire. The weapon is super adaptable. Yeah, it's just a monster. He's got a shield system that he's working on. Looks pretty badass. I don't know how I feel about this being so visual. I like the idea of a shield system being see-through until it's hit. That's just me though. It's still really cool and I would totally rock it. And another version of the force field wall, except for this one, he actually shows it working, the ship flying through it, and has in-character reasons why it's working. And there's a great example of what I would love to do with it, using it as a port, a docking bay. So pretty cool. Let's actually zoom in on that. That looks really badass. So, all right, guys. I think that was it. He might have one more pretty cool thing to show. I really recommend looking at his post. There's so much cool stuff here. Let me just flip through here real quick. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's not my normal type of video where I'm showing off game footage and concept stuff, but a lot of this stuff isn't released. So I thought, well, how can I show you guys that the modding scene is starting to grow and become a thing? Yeah, I think that's actually it. Without just showing you the website. So, oh yeah, there was an accident with the Paladin. So he rebuilt it bigger and better and more badass. And then he shows him somebody demoing the railgun. You can actually import the railgun model in, but it doesn't work, as I said before. But it will, coming soon. All right, guys, if you enjoyed this video, and if you don't mind this kind of desktop view of a modding community that hasn't fully exploded yet, let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video. It's kind of different. All right, if you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to this channel, the XP Gamers, for more modding goodness. And as always, thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.